Hi, Sean Reilly here with Cherry Creek Properties, and I am here to do my Metro Denver monthly real estate update for October of 2013. Again, I'm Sean Reilly, work with a company called Cherry Creek Properties. Been a active real estate agent here in the Metro Denver area for the past 18 years, and I like to put this out for people just to give you a feel as to what's going on with the market. If you're looking to buy or possibly looking to sell, this information can help give you a pretty good idea of is this the right time or not. So with that, let me just point out a couple of sites that you can go to. If you're looking to purchase, you can go to my Denver Real Estate Search.com, and you can search all the available properties out there. And if you're also interested in selling, you can go to mydenverhomesvalue.com and get a free market analysis of your property. Anyway, enough with that. Let's get into October 2013 here. I cover 5 counties: Adams County, Arapahoe County, Denver County, Douglas County, as well as Jefferson County, to kind of cover the Metro Denver area and give you a good idea of what is going on here with the real estate market. So on this left-hand side here, you can see that I follow October. This is October of 2012. So just kind of want to give you an idea of what's going on month over month for the last 2 years. And then I also on the right-hand side here do everything year to date, and this is the one that I typically follow. I'm more interested in the trends of the market. Monthly data can be a little bit misleading. However, thus far right now it's it's fairly in line, not 100% in line with year to date, but this will give us a better view. So when I talk about everything, it's just going to be year to date. I might point out a few things on the monthly basis, but for the most part it's going to be year to date. Right now I'm recording this here in December, as the information for October typically is about a month delayed in that ballpark before it comes out. So mortgage rates as they sit today: 30-year fixed on average 3.875. If you were looking at a 15-year fixed, 2.75%, and then a 3-year adjustable rate at right around 2.5%. The one thing that obviously pops out to me, and pops out to everyone that's looking to buy and or sell, is what has happened with the prices thus far this year. And obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, that the real estate market has really been healing up here for the last couple of years, and so far this year has not been an exception. It's been a pretty phenomenal year in the residential real estate market for for buyers and sellers alike. Prices have increased quite a bit. They had been depressed here 2-3 years ago, and just started to work their way up, and this year they definitely said we're on our way up. So if you look at like Adams County here, excuse me, last year the average sales price in Adams County is 192,750-ish, and this year it's roughly in the 217,941 range, about 13.1%. As far as the gain goes. Arapahoe County not too far behind at 10%. Denver's pretty close at 11.9% gain, going from roughly 300,000 to 335,000. Douglas County is the laggard of the bunch, up 7.5%. But if you look at it, they're starting at an average of last year at 346, and have worked their way up to 372,000 this year. It's almost a $26,000 gain for Douglas County residents on average. So even though it only shows 7.5%, since they're starting at a much higher number, that number is going to be skewed downward. However, still substantial gains in Douglas County, and similar with Jefferson County at an 8.7% increase, going from about 271 to 295,000. The big thing here is, will this continue? I mean, that's the obvious question that's on everyone's mind is, will 2014 be as solid as 2013? And I think it's going to be solid. I don't think we're going to see what we've seen this year as far as the same percentage increases. But unless we see some type of interest rate bump or a couple of substantial bumps that maybe push us from the mid to low fours into the high fours, low fives, or even mid fives, I think we're going to be looking fairly pretty next year. It just really depends on what they end up doing with the interest rates. So far, right now, they're good, as you can tell from what I told you before. 3.875 is a pretty low interest rate comparatively. I mean, if you go all the way back to the was it late 70s, early 80s when they were in the 18-19%. This is obviously almost borrowing money for free. They're just so low at this point. So I think if we do get a bump like into the high fours, low fives, we're probably going to see the market just slow, and you're probably not going to see increases in prices like we did here in 2013. But I think the market will trudge along. It's just going to depend on how quickly buyers digest and are okay with any said increases. The second thing we want to touch on here are sold listings. How many more properties sold in 2013 versus 2012? You can see here in Adams County it's up 23.5%. In Arapahoe County, almost 23%. Denver up 17.5%. Douglas up huge, 27%. And also roughly 21% here in Jefferson County. So it's definitely a trend in terms of people seem to be getting back into the real estate market. And there's a number of reasons, at least in my mind, that this is happening. One is any people or any persons that lost their home due to foreclosure back in 08, 09, 2010 have probably healed credit-wise, established new jobs, and are back in the marketplace. Not as though they wanted to really lose their house back in the day, but unfortunately it did occur to a lot of people. So you had a lot of pent-up buyers that were itching to buy and now have healed and are able to purchase. So that's one sector that I think has driven the market thus far. A second big sector is your renters. At this point, it seems every month you open a newspaper and there's some type of an article about how rental rates are going up. Not a huge amount, but could be $50 a month, could be $100 a month, and landlords are definitely trying to make hay while the sun shines. I mean, rental vacancy rates are way down, and there's just such a huge demand for people renting properties that's driving those prices up. At some point, those prices are going to be so high that those people, instead of looking at the potential of renting, are going to jump ship and look at purchasing, and then also all the benefits that owning a house has. And for example, deducting interest, and then also being able to deduct any property taxes that you pay on the home. Days on the market at this point this year has definitely showed us that the market is extremely alive and extremely well. I'll pop back to October here. As you can see, the numbers in October, the 58s and 60s, low 60s. So you could tell the market was definitely healing towards the end of 2012, whereas the averages were a little bit higher for the year to date in 2012, and then 2013 has definitely brought us down a whole lot more. So on average, ballpark throughout the 5 counties, we're looking at homes selling in about a month and a half, in that ballpark, whereas we were just right around the 2.5 month mark on average in 2012. So I think that this is going to stay fairly similar. It's, there's a good chance that we might come down, trick down into the high 30s, but I just don't see it unless interest rates really drop and a whole glut of buyers hit the market because it's just absolutely too enticing to turn down. I think that we're going to trudge along. I don't see it changing too much, and the numbers may stay relatively the same in in the mid 40s, maybe in the lower 40s as well. But as long as there's nothing, no extraneous factors, again, to touch on the interest rates going up, I think we'll be pretty solid and looking at a fairly solid 2014. And then the last thing I want to touch on is inventory, new listings that have come onto the market. As I said, it's no longer a secret the residential real estate market is definitely healed and is to a certain extent thriving at this point. And you see that 16% more homes on the market in 2013 in Adams, same with 16 in Arapahoe, 14.8 in Denver, 17.6 in Douglas, and up 12.4% in Jefferson. So one of the things too, I think on this one is in the last few years you've seen a lot of people that bought maybe in 07 or 08 that were underwater. So if they bought a house for 300 grand and only could sell it for 270, there just was no way for them to sell unless they had the ability to pay out and make themselves whole. So a lot of those people have been holding on to their homes, and now that prices have caught up and that $300,000 house they bought in 07 is now worth 330, they're able to get out of that and move on to either a bigger or or a sideways move, depending on what they were looking to do. So I think that definitely has helped. And also people now feel a lot more comfortable. If they were sitting in a home, now they feel a lot more solid, certain about the real estate market. So maybe if they needed more space, they were just holding out for the market to recover, and now they've thrown their house on the market to possibly buy another house. So I think that has definitely helped fuel the inventory. And a nice thing there too is it makes life a whole lot easier for buyers, just because if you're only going out and if you have a certain search in mind and it's only pulling up 7 to 10 listings, now maybe you're going to get to look at 15 to 20 listings or a whole lot more before having to make a decision. And it gives you a whole lot better peace of mind knowing, hey, I've gone through 15 or 20 houses, this is the one, and this is the one that gives me goosebumps. So it rather than just picking through 3 or 4 going, do I have to choose from one of these? So solid in that aspect. And it's good to see that the inventory is there. More inventory kind of dovetails into the days on the market. If we have more inventory, it's going to be tougher for that those 40s to go down a whole lot more than they've had. And it's like I touched on that, where I think possibly we could be looking into the high 30s, low 40s, or there's a really good chance they're just going to stay relatively the same. So anyway, solid market at this point, and for 2014, I think it's going to continue, barring anything out of the ordinary. The biggest thing in my mind is interest rates at this point. That will definitely have an impact on the market, but the market will absorb it and trudge through and and continue on. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name's Sean Reilly, real estate agent here in the Denver metro area for the past 18 years. If there's any questions that you might have, feel free to leave a comment below in the YouTube section there for comments, or visit my website, mydenverrealestatesearch.com. You can search for a bunch of properties out there, and there's a whole lot of information if you are looking to buy or sell here in the near future. I'll leave you Sean Reilly, 303-520-8700. Again, thanks for watching. Take care.